I walk out expecting a nice little Canadian handshake, and no, I get a bear hug. So I was looking at my phone early one morning. My eyes are all blurry still and half open. I see a LinkedIn message from one of my LinkedIn connections, and he's a Canadian broker. And he said, how about if I pay your way to Canada? Would you be willing to come up and talk to us, talk to our sales staff? And I said, sure, of course. Am I helping him? Yes, but I'm helping me too. Plus get to go to Canada. That's, of course, who wouldn't do that?
Thank you very much.
We got to Canada, and I don't even have a winter jacket. This is what I was wearing. We get there, and I figured it was a little limo was gonna pick us up, but no, it's like a house on wheels. So we're here in this ridiculously beautiful limo in Toronto, Canada. And it's Sean and I up here, and we've been invited by the owner of the largest dental practice brokerage company in all of Canada. And I'm thrilled to be here, and I think he's excited to have us there because we're not competition, we're friends. We're gonna talk about all of our methods, and we're gonna exchange ideas. So when we sit down with a doctor that's ready to sell his office, we can get it done quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
And this little Hungarian driver named John was amazing. He picked us up and he drove us to the headquarters to meet the owner. I walk out expecting a nice little Canadian handshake, and no, I get a bear hug.
Picture.
16 years. I'm a little bit Canadian, I'm a little bit. He says he wants to show up to Canada just for him, so he wears that because it's a thick jacket.
Their headquarters was amazing. It was the oldest building in town. It had been renovated, modernized, but it was beautiful. It was a comfortable clubhouse. First thing that any Canadian would do is say, hey, you want a beer? So of course. We exchanged some ideas of how we're similar, which is in most ways, but there were quite a few differences. One of the things we talked about was demographic studies and their importance in finding your new perfect office.
I hear dentists graduating from schools all over the world about ratio, people to dentists. I think they're patently flawed because we have seen many examples of people who survive in high and or low ratio environments.
My first few offices, I used to do extensive demographic studies. I found I could learn more by going to sit at a little country diner in that area and listening to the people in the restaurant. There are a lot of dental offices around here. It's hard to get into your dentist. After my first 2 offices, the next 33 offices, I didn't do any demographic study whatsoever. Do you advise people to do demographic studies when they're considering purchasing a practice?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would be prudent for anybody to look at the demographic and the indicators of the neighborhood, but I think that what's more important is where do you want to live? So if we spend a little more time figuring about our family and our intentions,
Where's the best
find a home.
Yeah.
Practice there. I think that's far more important than the demographics of any community.
Day 2 happens, and they have a morning sales meeting. And we didn't have to be there till 11, which is great, because I'm not a morning person. We stroll in there about 11. They're still having their morning sales meeting, so we got to listen in a little bit. And a lot of the same things that they're dealing with in their sales meeting, we are too. Exactly the same things. So that started wrapping up. They introduced me to the 18 people or 20 people, whatever were there. And it was a very relaxed talk. They basically introduced me, asked me some of the things that we're working on. Timothy would guide the whole thing. He would ask some questions that were kind of thought-provoking, ask me how I handled this, and I would give my answer. And then the staff would ask a few questions, which would spark more conversation. But this really went on for hours. But you could tell their level of professionalism, and the questions they were asking showed they really cared about what they do. And I can see why this company is as successful as they are. It was a great learning session for me, and hopefully for them too. At the end of the day, we agreed that we're definitely both matchmakers. We don't want to just find a buyer that's willing to pay the price that a doctor's looking for, but we're looking for a buyer that's going to keep the practice with the same beliefs and take care of the patients in the same way that the dentist took care of those patients. And we want to make sure that the staff is taken care of in the same way, or even better.
I make matches. Are they serious to you?
We're matchmaking.
Matchmaking is very serious to us. Our business does not succeed if we don't make good character matches.
That's right.
Isn't that important to you?
Oh, 100%.
Do you give a shit about that? I give a shit about that. I'm Timothy Brown, CEO of Royal Corporate Canada. Baby in the background. Dr. Kyle Ross right here. Cut that one.